Now I'm going to show you a lesson that I designed that I really hope is going to help you and your students for maybe the first time show that complicated formula of surface area versus volume and all that math we do in these cell size lessons. So I've really simplified it here, and the model really has simplified it for me. So this is the only time I think that I actually make a square cell, and as the lesson progresses you'll see why I've done that. So what I'll do for my students is I'll just build this cell, and I really stay away from the language surface area and volume and ratios. I may have them read about that later, but what I'll do is I start to calibrate those mathematical parts into 1, 1, 1, 1. So I made a very simple, what I call 1 by 1 by 1 by 1 cell. I put one glucose channel in it. And what I tell the students is that this cell at this size needs to have 3 glucose molecules come through the one channel. And as long as 3 glucose molecules come through one channel for a cell that is this size, per minute the cell stays alive. So we talk about that and they're clear on it, that okay, this size needs 3 glucoses per minute and this size only has one channel in the membrane. So what I then get them to work on is what happens if this cell gets twice as large, and they go and work for a while. When we come back, I'll model that and I'll make the cell twice as big. So we now have 2 by 2 by 2 by 2. And upon discussion, we're going to follow the rules that have applied, that were set forth at the beginning of the lesson. Since we doubled the membrane, we're now allowed to double the amount of protein channels. And now we can have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 glucose molecules enter. So the question now is, will this cell remain alive? And very quickly the students say no, because they can clearly see that the space in here is way larger, and some might guess 3 times. But if I take a membrane and I just usually do this, some of the students that didn't see it go, oh, it's like 1, 2, 3, 4. And if some are really in a bad mood that day and don't believe me, I'll take this membrane. Now see how I'm holding it here? Because again, it's difficult to get the magnets to stick on top. So there they can clearly see there are 4 of those 1 by 1 by 1s. So we discuss in what I call very straightforward language that there is a mathematical reality here, and the mathematics simply is, without doing math, that as the membrane gets larger, the cytoplasm gets larger at a faster rate. And that's, in my view, the point of the lesson. The students comprehend that and go, well, because they were taught diffusion and all those other processes, this cell has 2 choices, die, or it can go back to 1 by 1 by 1. So that can lead you into, say, mitosis. And now these 2 cells, right, can continue to survive, and that's why my 1 by 1 guy there is still, well, he's okay, he's alive. In conclusion, what I'd like to share with you is my experience teaching this particular manipulative with my students. More of them now definitely get the concept that as the cell membrane gets larger, the cytoplasm, the volume, the space inside the cell, those 2 growth rates are not directly related to each other. One actually is growing faster than the other. And that's why I like to teach this particular lesson, and that's why I decided to show you.